Earlier this year, I embarked upon the most incredible and grounding journey that I have ever been on. Deep into the heart of Ghana, West Africa, to learn about a product that we are all too familiar with, but many of us have absolutely no clue about. All of these trees that you see behind me are shea butter trees, and it takes at least 15 years for them to grow and bear fruit. 15 years. I'll just let that marinate. And I want to share this experience with you to learn about the people and the culture who makes your shea butter.
Just documenting. Hi.
It is so hot.
It is very hot.
This is the tiniest place I've ever been. We're on our way to Tamale right now, and then I think from there we're going to go to Kumasi, and then, how do you say it? I don't even know.
And then we're going to Bogatanga.
Bogatanga.
And then we're going to go to Garu tomorrow. So it's a long journey. It's going to be a long day. Anyway,
And
I looked at
it on the map, and Garu is like the furthest point into Ghana inland.
Yeah, and we're right at the bottom right now. So it's like we're going from bottom to top. Yeah.
In 5 days.
Yeah.
The longest, shortest journey I've ever been on a trip with a brand. So let's get it well vision. I forgot to mention it's about 6 a.m. here. The plane journey took about an hour, and everybody is absolutely knackered. So they're catching all the extra Z's that they can. We have arrived in Tamale right now. Hi! I can't vlog in peace. All these girls need to be in the vlog. When we see a camera, everybody needs to get into camera.
So we're also here.
You know, like sugar daddies. Don't leave us out. We're also here. So we're collecting bags at the moment, but they left our bags in Accra because they said it was too heavy for the plane and that they'd be sending it later. So let's just hope that it arrives. I've air tagged all of my stuff, so we'll see if it gets there or not. After the short plane ride, it's another 2-hour bus ride to our hotel. So we got a box of slaps on our way, and I've got this one as well, smoked chili beef. Did you try the cinnamon one?
I did, yeah.
Okay. It was better, right? So the bag of chips has a fortune cookie in it, and it says, "Have the courage to be kind." Can you see that? That's nice. There are lots of checkpoints on the way. We do have police escorts, but that doesn't stop the military from meticulously checking our convoy. We have made it. They're awake now in the bathroom. We've made it to Akayat. We're spending one night here at Akayat Hotel in Bolatanga before we continue our journey further into the Upper East. It's got a kitchen and everything. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god.
Oh my god.
Thank you. This is so cute. We rose really early this morning for another 6 a.m. start, and again got on the bus for another 2-hour journey into the Upper East. The further into Ghana that we travel, I notice that the villages are getting more and more rural. After another hour and a half, we finally make it to World Vision headquarters in the Upper East. We're in Zabilla now, in the Upper East part of Ghana. It's about 4 hours away from Tamale, which is where we got the plane from Accra. That was at 1 hour. So about 6 hours to get here, to be here with World Vision, learning about shea butter and the entire process of it, and how they have essentially eliminated child labor in this region and empowered the women so that the kids can go to school, the women make income, and everybody's just better off. And I can't wait to learn about this process. After a quick rundown of what's going to happen and who we're going to meet, we were off again for another hour's journey. After a while, we were no longer on a paved road, and I noticed that the villagers were becoming few and far between, until it was just us, nature, and nothing else. That made me realize just how isolated that these people we're going to visit are, not only from the rest of the world, but also from the rest of Ghana. The contrast of the Upper East from the big city of Accra that I'd been in only just a few hours ago was really a shock to me. After another hour, we finally reached a settlement, but we still had a ways to go. Eventually, our convoy did reach a clearing, and I could see and hear a large group of people, and I realized that this was who we were here to meet. We were greeted in the most beautiful way by the women of the Upper East. The women sang and danced and cheered us all the way into the building. It was a very warm welcome to the next 2 days of living and working with them and learning about what they do.
Instead of doing their traditional processing, which is tedious and not more improved, we can put these women into a group, support them. With the help of World Vision Korea, we established 3 cooperatives. Each cooperative have about 200 membership, and they are all shea processors. So to make them process more improved and quality butter, we have to construct this modern facility for them. So we have such of these facilities, 3 of them in this district.
All of these trees that you see behind me are shea butter trees, and it takes at least 15 years for them to grow and bear fruit. 15 years. I'll just let that marinate. So the women go out, I guess maybe every day, and go collect all of the shea butter seeds that have fallen. I was looking for some shea butter seeds, but I think they must have picked them all already and put them out to dry. And there's barely any fruit on this tree. But I can't imagine having to wake up every morning and go out into this forest in the blazing sun and come and do this. It's a lot. And when I say it's a lot, not even I realize just how vast the land is and the sheer scale we're talking. These women have to walk hundreds of miles to harvest the shea butter seeds. And just so you know, it's 40 degrees Celsius outside right now, and there's not a single cloud in the sky for shade. I feel like shea butter should cost millions of pounds. It should be worth its weight in gold for all the work that they have to do. All to collect these. These are the seeds of the shea butter fruit after the fruits have dried off. Each shell must be cracked to reveal the nut inside. And water has to be collected from this well, which thankfully World Vision assisted in creating, and is not too far from the processing plant. They need to wash the nut to get rid of any dirt. They lay the nuts out and then begin sorting through them. They remove any impurities or any nuts they deem unsuitable for the shea butter process. After which they're placed to dry, and this is what they look like. Okay guys, so we are inside of the machine room right now, and there's actually no power at the moment. So they are processing by hand, but they just want to show us how practical that it is, because they used to do all of this by hand before World Vision came and helped them get the equipment. That's what we were just learning about now. So I'm going to watch them process the beans, and I'm kind of excited because I really want to know how this process takes place. I can see that they're starting to get some things together. I have no idea what's going on, so let's go pay attention and see if we can learn something. We were actually here to see how the machines that World Vision have donated have helped the women. But I'm actually happy that there was no power, because I got to see the real process before World Vision came along, and I can now appreciate the machines that much more, having seen the labor intensity of the traditional method.
I think you already placed it yourself.
Oh yeah, go ahead.
Are you tired?
Although I was hot and uncomfortable, pounding the nuts for about 5 minutes didn't seem so bad to me until I realized that they're doing this one by one, and there are hundreds, if not thousands of nuts that they need to crack almost every day. After pounding the nuts, they need to roast them. They pile them all into a big metal drum and roast them by hand over an open fire.
So with the use of the machines, once it cools, they just collect it and the milling starts. In a few minutes, it's all done.
The next step is to mill. Traditionally, this is done by putting the crushed nuts on a large slab of rock and grinding a smaller, heavier stone against the slab. This is back-breaking work, and the women often sing to develop a rhythm and get themselves through it. The smoother the product of the milling, the more shea butter you get out of it. Unfortunately, you can see even after hours of milling, the milled nuts here are still very lumpy and gritty. If we compare it to the work from the machines, you can see that the machines produce a much smoother consistency. And this entire bucket was done in 20 minutes. After the milling process is done, it kind of resembles a doughy, muddy texture. This needs to be mixed with water and kneaded to extract the butter. Doing this by hand, again, tedious, back-breaking work. And one bucket will take these women about an hour's worth of kneading, just to even start to see the shea butter rise. This machine, however, makes the world of difference. All 4 of the buckets that we saw previously would be put into that machine and it would do the work for them.
Within some 20 minutes, you can get your butter from there.
But finally, after an hour of kneading, you can see fat breaking away from the water mixture. I watch excitedly as I realize this is the beginning of the shea butter forming. We're invited to touch the extracted butter. And I can't help myself, I'm already ready to rub it all over my skin. I tried to help form shea butter balls to extract the butter from the water so that it can be pasteurized. And yes, I said pasteurized because the women here do something incredible with shea butter that I didn't even know was a possibility. They eat it. Yes, you can eat shea butter. The shea butter here is used to cook, make snacks, used as a fat for frying, and I also learned that you can use it as soap and laundry detergent, which means that the shea tree is really a tree of life. I tried to help make the shea butter balls, but honestly, I think I was just making a mess and more work for the women, so I decided to leave it to the professionals. They work the fat into large mounds and place it into a vat to boil and extract the last remnants of impurities. Once the butter boils, the water evaporates, the fat settles at the bottom, and the brown of the husk of the nut settles at the top. Once it's cooled, it's simply cutting off the top layer and exposing the raw shea butter underneath. The women put these into jars, they form them into bars, into balls, into big buckets, depending on what people want to buy. All packaged and ready to be sold. They get first dibs, of course, and then take it down to the local market or their village, where the shea butter is weighed out and sold. After this experience, World Vision asked me to give my thoughts.
Hi, my name is Navera. I'm a travel and lifestyle content creator and I tell visual stories through travel. Right behind me is the Warrianga Processing Center. So the process of shea butter is so involved and so hands-on, and it's handmade. It takes a lot of effort and energy, and it's considered a luxury product in my eyes from what I've seen today. The women are incredibly strong and have to work really hard to be able to process that butter. And I need people to realize that that is actually a luxury product that they're buying. So be more thoughtful about buying certain products.
These women have all my respect, and I'm incredibly grateful that they want to share more of their story with us. This is Mariam. She invited us to her home to meet her family and tell us what life is like. Her children go to school and don't need to help with the labor-intensive works of shea butter farming. And we heard from her son, who told us about his dreams and aspirations, and how proud he is of his mom.
Okay. That it helps them a lot because one, when they return from school, sometimes they will use shea butter to prepare what we call walsa. You know walsa? I don't know the name of it. Meal. It's a meal. It's just a local meals that they prepare here and eat.
What's the best part of being in school, and what's your favorite subject?
Sakura mankemea mango se ibia na yake mana yi government to karasuma be bedare mtanyi bila manopwa kadade.
I have to give you the same as he said. He said he wants that one day he will also become a successful person as a government worker and also get something small for him. He and his wife will also eat.
And what subject does she like?
So subject
Science. Later that day, we met another family who invited us into their home and showed us around the compound. And the lady of the house was very excited to show us all her other businesses that she was able to start from the money she made from her shea butter venture. These included rabbit farming and vegetable farming. The family was a little shy at first, probably because of the language barrier, but once we started chatting, they were very forthcoming and wanted to take pictures with us. All 3 sons are in school and are doing very well, and the parents are very happy that they can make home improvements with the income that they make from their various businesses. You may be thinking that we haven't seen many children, especially being that the sole purpose of this trip was to see how World Vision has helped the children. But the very fact that we aren't seeing any children is a great sign, because this was filmed during the week, and the fact that children are scarce means that they are exactly where they need to be, in school, learning, playing, and having a childhood, and not anywhere near the factories. Luckily though, we did get a glimpse of them on our way out after school was over, and they were more than excited to see us. And hopefully this means that the future generation will never have to work in the shea butter factory unless they want to when they're older. In our closing ceremony, we were gifted some of the shea butter that the women make.
So it's the last day in Ghana, in Garu, and I've learned so much. We've done so much. It's been one hell of an experience, I have to say. We were supposed to go to the market today, but unfortunately we didn't get the chance to do that. But seeing the women making the shea butter, seeing that process, and seeing how it's helped the families, because that's who we spent most of the day with today, was amazing. It's a bit of a surreal experience. I think I'm gonna have to sit with it for a little bit when I get back to my hotel and try to figure out exactly how I feel about everything, but it was overwhelming to say the least. I'm so happy that the kids are able to go to school. They have a completely different life. If you've seen some of World Vision's other projects, especially in Uganda, you will know that they're still trying to combat child labor there. And if it wasn't for them being able to come here and put in place all of the technology and all of the education and skill that they've put in, this situation in Garu in terms of processing shea butter would have been exactly the same as in Uganda with processing the vanilla. I'm happy to see that they're making a difference and that the children are able to go to school. They have dreams, they have things that they want to do, they have things they want to accomplish. And it's so nice to see that the people are being taught, they're not just being given things, they're being taught skills that they can use and grow their community. So that's something that I'm really proud of, and I'm happy to be part of World Vision. And I think when I go back home, I will definitely be taking into consideration the types of products that I buy and thinking about the people who make it.